Hey there. Welcome to dang it, ArtCam, as I call it. ArtCam 1.0. And that's basically going to be the camera that is going to be outside in my... So today, I'm going to be doing my first art project to give you kind of an idea of what I'm trying to do. So at Dollar Tree, they have these little things called Final Faction, which is basically like an old 80s, 90s sort of toy brand, but remade in the modern day and sold at Dollar Tree for around $1. So you get all these cool little characters, and I bought this little alien guy, and he had some cool robotic features. And I wanted to make some cool cyborg sci-fi alien guy, because these are really cheap and easy to custom paint, because I have custom painted some of these before. And I got some weapons, and they have two factions. They have humans, they have Alpha Team 1, and the Karn. So, the Karn come with all these cool spacey weapons, but I wanted something more robotic. And these have robot arms in them and robot hands, so I figured we could turn this guy into a cyborg using some of these parts. I also got a cutting mat because I don't want to cut into my desk anymore, and if I have to cut something, then I can do it on the cutting mat. So, let me get a piece of paper, and we're going to start doing some sketches to see what I kind of want for this guy. Okay, so here's the paper. Flip it around on the more blank side. So, he's kind of, so I just want to see, he's got kind of a pre-posed body, and his legs are kind of like this. So if this is going to be his torso here from the side view. Here's his arm, and that just kind of goes down. So here's his kind of abdomen. So his legs kind of go out like this, which is, if I want to give him a robot leg, which I'm not really planning on doing, is going to be kind of a problem because I don't really have any way of doing that. But I figure if I cut off one of his arms and replace it with the robot arm, this will be our robot arm thumbnail really quick, because I'm thinking this little part, I can cut off that nub part on the end and attach this hand to it with some super glue and have a cool robot hand, and turn this into some kind of respirator on his face. He did come with some accessories, this little bug thing, so if I can utilize that in some way, we can make something cool here. So we have sort of what I'm going for, but I'm going to do a front view sketch too, just to see exactly what he's going to look like from the front. And then that way, if I want to draw something on there just to see what it looks like, see what it might look like before I actually start gluing and cutting things, then that will work fine. I just realized now though that my camera is showing OBS in the background, so we're going to actually enlarge in that for you there. Cool. There we go. Much better, much better, much better. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack him open and see exactly what we have to work with. So, oh my. So looks like we have a little sword type thing, like a jagged jade green blade. It's got this little peg on it, so I'm guessing that might go into his arm. We got two of those. Not exactly the same, both are a little bit different. We got the figure himself, and he's got some Predator vibes, because he's got this like hair, it might be cords, but he's got some cool arm rockets, and it looks like we might not have to do much sanding on this guy, because he's mostly colored plastic, so I can mainly just sand off these gold bits, because I don't really want the gold on there. And then he also comes with a little bug. I'm not really sure what that is for. It's like a little scarab beetle. I don't know, it might connect onto something. I'm sure there's instructions for this and I'm just not looking, but he does have pegs in his arms, so I'm guessing if I just take that, yeah, so there he is with his complete accessories, ready for battle. So, and the package artwork is just really cool. I'm just going to say that right there. It's got some really nice package artwork, so pulling the packaging off to the side, let's get open this weapon pack and also see what's in there. Be very careful because there's a lot of small parts in here that I don't want to lose, and if I lose them then it'll be kind of annoying, so. Alright, there we go. There's some extra parts down there. Now this is meant for, because you buy these weapon packs and they are meant for very specific characters. This one is meant for Torn, which I do not have. Torn, there it is, it has instructions on where those go. But these arm pieces are just really cool, and looks like these could be used for some kind of, maybe like if I put it on his leg, like cut that up into pieces and maybe have it like a brace or something on his leg would be cool. This piece I really wanted to add somewhere, maybe like a back insertion. This does just kind of stick on. That does just stick on the back, so I might even have to glue that. But I kind of wanted to find out if I could give him some cool mouth respirator, like he's had some battle damage and needs a special breathing piece. But then there's also this piece, which looks really cool. I saw that in the packaging, maybe like a cool spine attachment, but maybe we'll find a use for that. We got a cool saw blade, a battle axe piece, a sword, and then the main part that I was talking about was these arms. So we have this arm, and there's this hand, and I'm figuring I can maybe attach these two together somehow and make it. And these are a little cool. Kind of modern day sci-fi, but old school cartoony claw hands, like something you'd see in a claw machine. So let's just start seeing how I can take him apart. I think his arm, oh yeah, look, his arm is on like a, he's fairly flexible too. He's not like a hard plastic. He's like a squishier plastic, so he's kind of like weirdly like flexible. The arm is not coming out, is it? I'm gonna be struggling with this arm. Oh, goodness. So his arm is definitely on like a ball peg. Oh, there we go. So his arm is on this. Here, I just pulled out the arm. That's the one I was wanting to replace, but here it is. And it's got like, it's like kind of like maybe they built the figure around the arm, because this peg, I'm not going to be able to get that back in there unless I take apart the figure. So this got like a thinner part to allow movement, and then this bigger, thicker peg to hold it in place. But it just popped out fairly easy. Now, I may have to take apart the figure to put this arm in, because that arm is not going to stay in there like that. Because I'm not going to be able to get that in there. But I may have to leave that part on, because the arm might be too small. Because if I just do, so if I take his other arm here, that kind of matches up to the size of his upper arm, but then this hand is just going to make it look about like that size, and it's going to be much smaller than his other arm. He'll end up looking goofy. So I'm going to try and figure out a best way to do that. But first, let me see if I can find a way to open this. He's got a screwdriver hole, so I'm going to get a screwdriver, and then I'm going to open him up, and we'll see exactly what. Annoying thing about opening stuff up is I don't know what kind of screwdriver to use, so I just went and grabbed whatever screwdrivers I could find. Oh, this one might be working actually. I just went and grabbed whatever ones I thought would be best for this, and we're going to just try and open it up. So that keeps falling out. This little one might work pretty well. Yep, there we go. So we got him going. You can see me pulling it up. So there's a screw, and I'm going to take that and put it in this little slot. I have a little slot on my desk that I can put stuff in. So all the hardware is going to go in there so I don't lose it. So let's see if I can get his, I don't see any other, oh, there's one more screw. So let's get that out. Got one more screw in that upper hole up there. And I think you can put the pegged items in anywhere you want on this. So like even those screw hole areas are going to hold those. He's already starting to come loose. I'm going to have to be very careful to make sure I don't lose any of his body parts here, because that'd be annoying, and I don't want to spend another $1.25. Even though that's a very short amount of money, I don't want to spend that much to go back and buy another Krepitus. Oh, you guys didn't even know what the name was. I should have said what the name was. His name is Krepitus, which is just great. So, there we he fell apart here into a couple pieces, and here's the back of his torso, and here's the front. So let me just see if I can get that ball arm to fit in there. Oh my. Look at that. It fits like a glove, but if I put the other part on, will it work properly? I just want to make sure that everything is going to fit, just in case I need to cut something or lower something's size. There we go. So that actually works perfect, and the articulation for that actually works really well. So that actually works really nice, and that might work perfectly. But I want to make sure everything is compatible, so I'm going to make sure his other arm will fit. Actually, that's just going to fit anyway. And here's his other headpiece. And I'm glad I can take them apart, because that'll make painting specific parts a lot easier later. So, yeah. So I think that's going to fit in there fairly well. So let's just get to figuring out what colors I want to use on him and what else I want to add to him. So I'm just going to I'm going to see how I can make this work, because that's something I really want to have on there, is that cool arm piece. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back with some blue gloves, and let's just start here. So I have some duct tape. And I was thinking, as I was grabbing those gloves, and as it took like 30 minutes for me to put on a glove, that maybe I could wrap these around each other and not have to cut them somehow, like with duct tape, and then maybe just paint over the duct tape, add some super glue or something, because that might work. It might look a little weird, but like it'll keep them attached without me having to cut anything, and give it more like sturdiness to it, because I don't want it to just break as soon as you try to do anything with it. That's not going to work. That is too small. That's also too small. What the heck? How much? I have to use the whole roll of duct tape. That doesn't look very good. That wasn't working. So I did that whole duct tape debacle for no reason whatsoever. Whoops. Now replace all my gloves, because I could not get the duct tape to stop sticking to the gloves, so I had to take them off. So that didn't work. I may just have to cut it and glue it. Maybe I can do that in a way that's not going to be annoying. So let me just get out this X-Acto knife and some blades. And let me just try cutting the tip of that piece off, and maybe that will help me glue it better. But it's still going to be, I think, pretty flimsy, and I don't want it to be so flimsy to the point that it's going to break if you try to play with it, because it is, again, a toy. So I want it to still be playable, but you know, look really cool and well made at the same time. There we go. Let's see. I'm going to try it right here. Oh, right. I've got a cutting mat now. Completely forgot about my brand new mat made for this, so there we go. And I probably should have shown that on camera because I'm a dud. Alright, here we go. So I cut off this little, I don't even know where it went, it's gone now, but there was a little piece that was supposed to connect to one of those arm things, and now I've cut it off, and I think I should be able to glue it. I may have to sand it down a little bit, but let me see how it scales with the other arm. So here's what it's going to look like if I glue it together. Here's the arm. So that's not too terribly out of scale. It could just be because he's bending his arm, so I don't mind if it's a little off scale. That's fine. That's totally good. But I'm going to grab sandpaper and sand that down a bit better. Alright. Just trying to get it flat so I can have a good surface to glue. And if I sand it, it'll have better, the glue will grab on better and actually stick a little bit better than just having it normally like that. Just get it down. Alright, so that's a bit flat now. Let me grab my glue and see how that's going to stick on there. My glue is all the way over here. There it is. Alright, so just get a little bit on there. Not too much, a little bit more than that. Come on, you can do better. More, it's like drying as it's coming out. It's so annoying. Alright, there we go. Let me just see. Oh, I should have sanded this a little bit. That's not going to dry immediately, right? Let me just sand that bottom of that pan really quick. Get it really flat and yeah. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I'm just going to hold that like that. It's already kind of starting to set, so I'm just going to hold it until it's dry. Okay, so that's like that. I have these little helper hand things I can use on that to hold it still, if I can find those. I'm just going to go grab them really quick. Here we go. So it's basically just a giant food skewer on a metal alligator thing, and that'll hold it like that for now. So I'm going to go grab my paint thing that will hold those. Alright, you know what? Who gives a crap, right? I'm just going to leave it. Since I can't seem to find it, I'm just going to stick it over in this thing. And I'll let you guys know when it's dry. And if you're wondering, no, I am not wearing the mask because it is in my garage right now. And it is hot outside since it is summer. And I am not wearing the mask and my face isn't going to be on camera for the remainder of this video. So anyway, just if you're wondering. So let's see. I'm thinking I could put some kind of prosthetic on his arm here. But he already kind of has like this big arm launcher thing, which kind of just, it feels like it would get lost on the figure if I tried to do that. So I'm just trying to see. That might work. I could drill a hole and then see if that will do it. Let's try out his face, because I want to see if I can put a respirator on it. Maybe using this bug, like that. Have like a big face attachment on there. But I don't want that to interfere with like his body. Will that if I put his face on it? Let me just test out that by putting his body back together really quick. That's what he's gonna look like if I put this on there, because that kind of lines up with his face. Is it supposed to go on his face? That actually might already be supposed to be going on his face. Let me see what the instructions say, because it just came with them. Jagged arm bleeds and his flea companion. So this is just a companion. But I could do something with that, but that hair is kind of getting in the way, and I don't really want that hair on there anyway. I could cut that off, and we could have some cool like cords on something, because that definitely looks like cords. I'm just going to cut it off, because I don't really need it there, and it's kind of in the way anyway, so I'm just going to cut it off. There we go, I cut off really easy. So it's going to look a little weird, but that could just be cords connecting to it, to his thing. Yeah, I think that'll work as a nice, big, cool Bane mask respirator type thing. So let me try, I'm just going to cut down that a little bit more, and I'll see how I can get that to glue on. Yeah, that looks alright, I think. Yeah, and then I can just repaint his eyes, make them look a little bit better, and kind of get that to see if I can get that to fit on his face, like firm fit a little bit better, because it's not really doing it right now. So I'm going to carve away some of the inside of it. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, so that'll work, and that arm should be dry about now. Glue still looks a little wet, so I'm just going to leave that. Alright, so I'm going to try and figure out how to get that to firm fit to his face, and then we'll see. I'll come back to you in just a sec. So I think if I just glue it onto his chin piece here, it'll stay firm and not interfere with the rest of the figure. I kind of wanted to do it a little bit different, because it kind of looks a little clunky, but maybe if I cut it in half. And I know I'm cutting something in half that I might need later, but it's just a big chunk, so I can just easily glue that back together. So like that, and that could be his respirator piece. But yeah, so I figured out I can just glue it on and that'll look good. And then I can cover that up with some extra bits. Alright, cool. I'm going to come back and I'll let you guys know when that gets glued. And I'm going to aim this fan at me because it is still, again, really hot out. Alright, so some glue on and put a little bit there because it kind of attaches to his, I guess he has a snout. I'm not sure what he has. But press that on there and wow, that stuck almost immediately. Okay, then it fell off. But so keep that like that. That'll look like a pretty dope respirator, I think. So I'm just going to leave him to dry, and I'm going to take off his arm here. Oh wow, there it goes. So I'm going to put his head on the helping hand, let that hold it. And let's just check this. So it's still a little wet, so I'm still nervous to just immediately like bend it around. But it looks really cool, so I'm just going to stick it in front of this fan for a couple seconds. Should be done. Oh, yep, it like came off immediately. Yeah, so that needs to dry a little bit longer, but yeah, oh, I might have just ruined it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna reglue that. Uh-oh. I did a stinky, I did it. I messed it up. Alright, there we go. Oh, hey, come on, don't do that. One moment, technical difficulties. Alright, so I still cannot seem to find that stupid thing that holds those, so I'm just going to have to worry about that later. Now let's move on to the rest of his body, and let's start with his leg. Let's go with the opposite leg, because I don't want to have two... we'll go with the other one. So I was looking at the other piece that I thought would put on the other arm. I'm going to look up and see it on camera, and that's going to be what I was looking for. I wanted to have that on his leg as part of like a prosthetic piece, but I guess that's not going to happen. But I could cut this off and have it on there, but that's like the opposite leg piece. Or like that, maybe. Have that like on the joint, and then have this sword piece maybe connecting up. I think that'll work pretty well. And since this has already got a thing on it, I can just gouge a hole into the bottom of his leg, and that'll be where we're going to put his little joint thing. Alright, there we go. Take the screwdriver, use that to get that clean a little bit. Oh goodness. Yeah, I kind of made a hole. Yeah, there we go. So I kind of managed to get his hole have a leg in it. Leg have a hole in it. I can't speak today, can I? Just trying to get that really good in there. So let's see how firm fitting this is. Okay, it's alright. That's not very good though, because this part here is in the way. So if I carve that off, just kind of, because this is it's not like hollow or anything, and it's not hard plastic, it's like rubber almost. You can carve into it pretty easily and get certain parts of it off. And a lot of the figures are hard plastic. I have some already that are just really hard plastic, but a lot of them are just like this gooier. It's more flexible material that is able to be. There we go. So that'll work. Let me put that glue in there, and then stick that robotic implant in his leg. And let you look at that. You know, a lot of that was off camera, but I had to keep it more close to me to get the control. So that's in there now, and I think that looks cool. So if I manage to get this on, and if I cut off that piece, which this is going to be harder since this one is hard plastic, I should be able to have something that looks fairly robotic and will match good with his newfound arm. Actually, I think I have something that'll work better for clipping that piece off. Let me find it. There we go. Look at that. Clean off. So, that's that. And if I take this, I can maybe carve off some of that extra. Probably not. I may just have to sand that down. That'll probably be better than just trying to cut off a big chunk. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Alright, I'm just gonna try sanding that off. I probably should wet sand that to get it more smooth, but also so I don't get microplastics in my lungs. Cause I don't wanna die, because I made a stupid toy in my garage, in my garage, in my garage. Come on, just, there we go. That's getting pretty filed down. So, a little bit more. Alright, there we go. So that's all flat now. There's no longer that little nub on there. If we go right here, I think that will work fairly good as like a nice leg joint on that. So let me cut off this little bit because it sticks out too much. Just clip it off like the clippers. Like that. Does that still stick off? I don't mind if it sticks off. I just don't want it to be sticking off so far that it's going to be a problem. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, that like almost perfectly fits in there. Oh, my camera will focus. There we go. Focus. Focus. Okay, well, there's this little part here that kind of fits perfectly in this little groove on his leg. So I'm going to go ahead and sand off the parts where I need to glue it, and then I'll come back to you in just a couple seconds. Okay. Just put the glue now in the places. I want one on his knee joint, and the one that's going to go right up in that little pocket. There we go. Alright, so that's kind of firm fitting in there now. And I think that looks pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. So there's his leg. The arms and head are still drying. I think the head should be almost done. But there's the head, and there's the arm. And I think that's going to be really cool when it's done. I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like, especially when I put new paint on it. I'm really excited. So I'm getting super glue all over my hands. Alright, so that's done. And I don't really know if there's anything else I want to put on his other parts, but he does have this really cool little back piece, so maybe if I glue some extra greeblies into it and gussy it up a little bit, we can have something that looks pretty cool. So let me just see what I can do with what I've got in front of me here. Put some super glue in there, and I put this little ball from the ball peg of that robot arm. And that should fit in there pretty well. I think that's going to look pretty nice. We could also have something here maybe. We could put like this saw blade or this axe piece. Maybe the axe piece could go in there somewhere. I don't know. I'm gonna test things out and come back to you when I think I've got something cool. So I found out that this axe piece fits pretty good on his torso here, and that could be like this cool spine piece that hooks up to his respirator. So I'm gonna glue that on, and we'll see. I think I like the look of it now, so we're just gonna go ahead. Oh yeah, hold on. So, his body is harder plastic, I'm not realizing. They just made the limbs out of a lighter, like a rubbery material, which is interesting, but I guess it's because that way you can have more flexibility at the arms while still having like a sturdy body that won't break. But there we go. So that's glued on. I'm going to let it dry on that little slot there. And I'm just going to hold it down until it sticks. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that aside. And this little part here looks really cool, so I wanted to connect it somewhere nice. I figured I could break it apart and have it sitting on his two different sides of his body. Because the only peg that this really fits in is this bottom one. And it doesn't look very good. It kind of just sticks out and looks really like blah. Like it's just really garish to have it there like that and have it sticking out. So I'd like to see if I can cut it and have it as two separate like back pieces, because it kind of, if I take this corner here, it looks like it'll fit on. So I'm going to try cutting it in half and testing that to see if it looks good at all. It's probably not going to look very good, and if I cut it in half, it's going to be a pain in my nuts to try and glue back on. But, you know, if it happens, it happens. And I pinched my hand. But since I am intolerant to pain, it does not hurt. That's a joke, it really does hurt a lot, but hey, whatever. There we go. Alright, so there's the two separate pieces. And if I take that and put it on his back here, it looks like I was right. That does look like it's going to fit on there, but I want to make sure that it's going to, because that kind of sticks out, and that looks cool, but I want to make sure that it's going to stick out and not interfere with anything. So I'm going to grab his head. I'm going to be very, very careful with my next few moves, because I do not want to mess up all my work here. So we're going to go with that. And that front piece is, let me just see how, I'm just going to hold the head on and then see. No, yeah, that doesn't block it too much, so that'll be fine. I'm going to take the head, put it back over here with the torso to dry, and I'm going to find a way to glue that on safely without it falling off. And I think I already found a way, so I'm going to get to sanding. Looks like when I'm gluing, because I haven't been showing a lot of what I've been doing. I've kind of just been doing a lot of it off camera, so. And it kind of works. It'll fit a little bit, yeah. So I'm gonna hold that there, and I'll do the other one, and we'll be done with that torso. And lay that on there. This part's a little bit different because it's a little bit more flat, but it was fitting on there earlier. Now it doesn't want to fit. That's getting glued in there. I'm just going to hold it in place until it eventually starts to set. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I think that looks really cool. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that looks pretty cool. So, and I could do this. Put this little saw blade on his back, but I think we've got enough little things attached to him to make it look nice enough. All I need to do is make certain parts look a little less goofy looking, and then we'll be good. And I was thinking if I could do something with these, but they don't really have a use. They're kind of just there. And I was thinking, I said before, like I want to do some kind of metallic brace or something that would hold his leg, but that kind of just doesn't really work here. And I could like that, but it's just going to be a big thing that's going to be just stuck on the side of that. So I'd rather just leave it how it is, and this robot leg is something I'm really proud of. So here's all the pieces we have. We got the leg, we have the back part of the torso, the front of the torso, we got the head with the respirator, and we have this robotic arm, which I have no idea if it's dry yet. It looks dry, but that looks can be deceiving with super glue, so I'm just going to leave that alone. And then we have his other arm and his other leg. Now I want to leave those normal because I want some parts of him to stay native. I could do something here with his arm. Yeah, like that. I like that. I'm going to glue that in there, actually. That looks pretty dope. Look at that. I think that looks cool. Having that big spike stick up on there. I think that's pretty dope. And maybe I could do that on his other normal leg as part of like his, it could be his native thing to have that on there from whatever planet he's from. Maybe. We'll see what happens. Alright, and we're back. Everything should be dry. If you're wondering what all that is, there was some yellow paint crap on my desk and then picked up from my gloves, so now it's all over that. But nothing to worry about there. These should all be done and glued. I think I can take this guy off of his little peg, which you're the one I'm most excited to put on this guy. So let me just see. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Yeah, this arm is being a little finicky with me. It doesn't want to dry properly. Oh well, the arm is something we'll worry about later. Right now I'd like to put together everything else, because everything else is more important than the arm, I think. Even though the arm is like the thing that I wanted to do the most on it. But that's fine, we can find a way for that later. Okay. And there he is. He was a nightmare to put together. I mean, really, these guys are not meant to be taken apart, I don't think, and then being put back together in the way I was trying to. But there he is, and I think he looks pretty dope. But I can see where some problem areas are. This thing is blocked. This little part here is blocking his head from moving. This part on the back was blocking the legs from moving, so I had to take that off. But everything else apart from that works, except these, because these fell off as I was trying to put together. As I said, these things are a nightmare to put back together. But etc., etc. I can just clip off the pieces I don't need and leave on the ones that I do. But I'll be back when that is finished. Alright, so there's the finished product, or not almost finished product, we still gotta paint them. But yeah, everything else is glued on, everything that should be glued on is glued on, nothing else fell off apart from those other two parts. The only part that I'm not excited about is taking them apart and putting on those stupid robot arm. But the robot arm is glued on and it seems fairly sturdy now. So all we gotta do is prime them and then paint them. So I'm gonna take them over to my priming area. You guys will get to see me spray paint the crap out of a whatever this thing is. Anyway, see you over there. Alright. So he is mostly done now. He is currently still drying. He's still got a little bit sticky, wet paint on him, so I don't really want to do anything to him yet, but I'd like to start getting down his color scheme. And I was thinking of going with something like a purple, like a darker, dirtier purple. Maybe I could just brush onto the surface and then give him some more like silvery highlights on his stuff. And I do got some purple here, so we can use that. But I don't want it to be too bright, so I'm gonna have to dull it down a bit using like some red or something. I do got red, and then I got that. So I'm gonna start mixing up colors, and we're gonna see what it looks like after that. So be back in a bit. This is the area you're not gonna see it very well, but I can tell that it's purple. So I'm gonna start coating him in the base coat of purple. And we'll see exactly what he looks like in just a little bit, but I'm not going to go super heavy with it. I just wanted to get purple highlights. I don't even want super purpley. I just want it to be like a nice, dirty, dark purple that you can see, but it's not going to be like the main thing about him. So I'm going to try and add some silver highlights onto all of the big bits that we have on here. I don't mind if the silver gets a tinted purple a little bit, because that actually kind of works. I like the monochromaticness of the purple and the silver. So we're going to just try and go with that. Kind of get all of his spines and stuff silver too, all the little horns and things on his legs and hands, just to get more variety, I guess. Something on there. I don't know what that is. And there he is. He is done. And I am loving the look of that purple with that like black, and you can't really see it here very well. I'll have to move him in a different area But like all of those robotic parts we put on worked really nice. That robotic arm just looks super cool. I like the nice parts I did for his legs. I mean, I think it looks good. You'll have to let me know what you think. Give me a second opinion in the comment section, but I think that's a pretty dope custom figurine if I've ever seen one. But some better lights for you to see the colors on him. He still just kind of looks black, but I definitely put some purple in there. But yeah, there he is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see me customize more action figure things in the future, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.